Hello and welcome! Today we're looking at a neutral blood deck. That's basically all you can call it. I was going to say more of an aggro, but I guess it is just straight out neutral, honestly. Nothing changes too much with neutral blood over the years, well, over the year, I guess, because neutral's kind of been around almost a year now with really popular strong decks. So neutral blood, doing very well. Paradise Vanguard is probably one of the only additions to this deck since Wonderland Dreams, honestly, outside of maybe Cather, I guess, because that's a pretty nice addition, but pretty great deck. Does the job, does pretty aggressively. You're going to lose about the same amount of games you're going to win, I guess, but it's hard to say until you actually play the deck. It's also reasonably cheap, only running a single legendary and very few golds, so if you do want to check this deck out, I highly recommend giving it a go, especially if you don't have a lot of other blood cards and you just want something to complete missions. I would recommend this. This video may be reasonably short, so we're going to get into the games right now and check it out. As I mentioned, this deck is reasonably quick. You're either going to win the game or lose the game within a few turns of turn 6 or 7, so it is one that is going to end very quickly. Which tends to be the theme with most blood decks, excluding Control Blood, which I just don't tend to cover because usually Control Blood isn't the best deck, and it's hard for me without all the cards that I could need for it. So, Goblin going down pretty early. Of course, you always want to get as much damage as you can, so going face is your main priority with this sort of deck. Bahamut makes some good coverage. I mean, it gets you a nice tutor to pull out those cards that you just don't want in there, especially things like Phantom Cat, which are great for more draw and damage. And of course, wonderful Pure-Hearted Singer, again aiming for that draw. Plus, I wanted to set up turn 4, so using the Pure-Hearted Singer, I at least know I can use Vanguard and the Fallen on turn 4 quite comfortably. Of course, they have to have a pretty much perfect hand there. So, the Fallen is going to strike for 1, we're going to get another bit of damage off this Razor Claw for 3, and just comfortably use our Pure-Hearted for another 1 damage. Going for a total of 5 in the turn alone. And there is one of their ramp. Dragon Sword, not surprising. Still don't know if I consider that card better or worse than the previous one. It's just one that I'm a little iffy on when it comes to that gold. But they also went for another ramp with Dragon Oracle, so they're really pushing this. Hector makes a great play though. 3 damage to the face, and a decent chance to use the Evo. Setting up for our Phantom Cat next turn, which will hopefully get us as much damage as it can at 4, but I haven't had much luck because Phantom Cat is quite an RNG heavy card. There is the Prime Dragon Keeper. This is one of the more popular dragon decks right now, so it is one of the harder matchups. It's this and Lindworm, I think, that are probably topping at the moment when it comes to dragon decks. I haven't played against enough dragon decks to know whether it's definitely the best, but it's definitely right up there. So, there's a nice 2 damage, I guess. The Phantom Cat didn't really do exactly what we wanted. If we had got double neutrals, we could have had a potential lethal next turn. It just means this is going to take a little bit longer than I'd hope. And this is not looking so great. They're going to go pretty wide, which is to be expected. But my biggest worry is that I'm going to need to win this turn. Which, considering we have Hector, the only chance to out now would be the Razor Claw. So it's a top deck battle right now. Either top deck victory or they pretty much win the game. And there it is, that top deck victory right there.
A shining helmet.
I mean, with their Evo and all their stats, they definitely would have closed me out pretty quickly, I reckon. So, going for victory, perfect time. And next up is against Haven. Haven is a matchup that can be fairly favourable for Blood normally, but since Tenko has started to kind of be on the rise, it's definitely getting harder because, of course, the major healing is very hard for something more aggressive to deal with, especially something like Neutral Blood, where you want all your damage to count. So no turn 1, kind of lacking there. I would have preferred to have had a 1-drop. But Globe of the Stairways does fairly well for this Haven player, being able to at least pull something from their deck. So they are definitely ahead right now. It's going to come down to how these next few turns play out. We may be able to take advantage of stuff like Savage Wolf and get a lot of damage, but it's going to be a wait and see sort of game. So there it is, 4 damage to the face. That's a pretty comfortable spot to be. So far, nothing that's too heavy on our countering. Ugh, Blackened Scripture, yeah, that one hurt. Not what I wanted to see from that. So we go for the Impulsive Strix. Probably not the right move, but it is going to soak up that Carapace pretty nicely. Being able to draw away most of the damage towards my 5/5 here. And there is the White Fang Temple, making my life a little bit harder every time it goes off. I would much prefer not to deal with something like that. And then of course, Angelic Knight, pretty much perfect. Gives us a nice little boost, takes us up to 5 damage. And just throwing Happy Pig to the board. I was tempted to go for the Razor, but I think we'll hide those for a moment, just to kind of keep them in the back pocket. So there it is, Priest of the Cudgel. Kind of expected that to come down last turn, but not surprising we see it now. Pretty much ideal. And they have just left themselves extremely open right now. We're not quite there, but this is going to help. So our win condition right now is that they don't heal any more than they would normally. So if they play any healing card at this point, we're in trouble. I can handle 1 heal off that and our Razors will close out the game. I can guarantee they are definitely killing these off, so I expected that to happen. Tutankhamun, perfect. This is what we needed. Just a complete waste of the turn. They're getting the Tutankhamun out. Our Razor Claws are going to close out the game quite comfortably. 4 damage to ourselves, 6 damage to our opponents, and that will be the victory. Didn't even get a chance for that Tutankhamun to be truly useful. So Neutral Blood isn't a deck that you see pop up every day anymore. It's definitely an odd one. I actually fought a mirror when I was making this video. Unfortunately, I did lose to the mirror match, only just. So it's something that apparently is still floating around. It's just not something you will encounter every day. But I thought, why not cover it again for you guys? It's been a long time since we did, and it's gone through at least a couple of small changes, so why not? If you did enjoy the video, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe. You'll find the deck list in the description below, as always, and I'll catch you guys next time. See ya.